Hi ho, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about game 120 of the regular season. Astros lose 3-2 to the Kansas City Royals for the third straight game in a row. A team that has achieved over 5% of their total season wins against the Astros in the past 3 days. That is a fact that made me sad when I saw it and thought about it, so I'm going to make everyone else sad with me because I'm going to state that fact. Why can't we beat bad opponents, Astros? Why can't you do it? Why is the sliding scale just so weird for the Astros? You can have pitching or you can have offense. You can't have both in the same game. Score 6 runs, you give up 7. Only allowed 3 runs in back-to-back games, you can only score 1 and 2 runs respectively. Why are we the way we are? All right, this was a rough game. This was one of the rougher games I've watched for the Astros this season. This game was just absolutely heartbreaking, right? It's a villain origin story, this kind of game. It's a make you want to just bang your head into a wall until you dent the wall kind of game, right? It just was awful. Zach Greinke was great. 1 run over 6 innings. Surprisingly, didn't allow a walk, and even weirder, didn't strike anyone out, which is just kind of insane. To hear that statistic. He has never gone 6 innings and not struck a guy out in his career. And Zach Greinke has been pitching since, I believe, 2004, which is a crazy long time ago to think about. Because in 2004, the Nolan Batman trilogy hadn't come out. That was the first thing I could think of. Like, it's been a hot minute since Zach Greinke's been in the league. And the fact that that hasn't happened is a neat little thing. You know what else are some neat little things about baseball? Because it's not the Astros tonight. Shohei Ohtani hit his 40th home run this season. He also pitched 8 innings of 1-run baseball where he struck out 8. That's pretty neat. Freddie Freeman hit for the cycle for the second time in his career. I love Freddie Freeman, and I love Shohei Ohtani. You can tell because I have their pops up behind me, and they're one of a few choice players that I actually have up there. Right? You gotta be one of my favorites in the league to make it up onto this shelf for players. So those are neat things that actually make me happy when I read them, unlike the Astros tonight that made me sad. Anyway, continuing on, right? So it's the 7th inning. The Astros get a couple of base runners. Then they pinch hit Jason Castro from Martin Maldonado. Jason Castro this season, who's been magnificent pinch hitting. Prolific, really. And what does he do? 2 RBI single. Jason Castro just coming up in big situations. Magnificent. You know who scores? McCormick and Yuli. Great. You know who else was on base in that situation? Jake Myers. Jake Myers had another multi-hit game. Jake Myers has been magnificent so far in his short little time with the Astros. That's great, right? Yuli got hit. He's been hitless for a while. That's good to see that happened. Jason Castro, again, the pinch hit. Clutch hitting by Jason Castro. Neat. Cool. You know what happened in the next part of the inning? Let's go to the 7th. Let's say that you just took a lead. It's the 7th inning. Logic would dictate that you go, even though you're Dusty's an old school manager, right? I'm not a big fan. I would love chaos. I love chaos. I would be totally fine if you didn't have any dedicated closer or setup man. If you just use Presley, Stenek, and Graveman whenever you feel like it, that'd be neat. Just use them in whatever the most important situation is. I would rather use Graveman in a super high leverage situation in the 6th or 7th than in the 8th with, no reason to put him in there. Put him in the 7th. Why didn't we? Who's to say? Well, we actually would eventually. But we put Blake Taylor in. He comes in, double to the first batter, home run to the second batter. The lead lasted about 5 minutes. So you could have walked into your kitchen, turned the oven on to make some, leftover pizza because you put it in the oven because you're a good person and you want nice crispy pizza instead of whatever you put in the microwave. I don't even think the oven would have been preheated by the time the Astros lead disappeared. It was that quick. It was, you walk out of the room, you walk back in, and you're like, hey, we had a lead. Do I have some weird form of score dyslexia, or did we blow it that quickly? And we blew it that quickly. Now he'd strike the next guy out. That's neat, I suppose. And then, hey, who's that coming in? Oh, it's Kendall Graveman. So he does exist in the bullpen. We didn't forget that he exists. He didn't slam his hand in a car door or something. He was there the whole time. And if you look back, he was actually in the bullpen walking around in a hoodie, probably thinking to himself, they're really going to go to Blake Taylor and not me? All right, that's stupid. Which I thought that was stupid. Seeing Blake Taylor warm up in the bullpen was, it was similar. I can only imagine that's like what dinosaurs felt like when they just see some big orange rock hurtling towards them. They're like, oh, I got a bad feeling about this one. I don't think that's going to work out too well for us. And then it didn't, because he gave up the 2 runs that gave them back the lead. So Blake, that sucks. Kendall Graveman comes in. He looks a little off, but you know what he didn't do? That's right, allow runs. He was fine. He went 1 2/3. Only gave up a hit batter. Got a strikeout. He did well. He got out of the game scoreless, which that would have been neat if we just let him go, oh, I don't know, say both innings, and then put Presley in for the 9th. But we don't get to live in that reality. We live in a reality where Blake Taylor, that happened. All right, 9th inning. The wheels have completely just gone off. I lost the wheel so long ago. I'm not even in a car at this point. I'm just in like an abandoned field holding the steering wheel that is completely detached from the car, acting like I'm still in a car. But the rest of the car is already just like destroyed in the nearby ditch near there. I've just walked into the center of the cornfield because I've lost it. Anyway, 9th inning happens. You get a pair of guys on there, and I'm glaring at the television just going, don't you dare give me hope. And they do. They rally. They give me hope. They do that stupid little thing called they make me a little eager to see what could happen. And then, guess who steps up to the plate with, the tying run in scoring position? It's Jose Altuve, my very favorite player of all time for the Astros, right? That I've watched. And I'm like, all right, neat, neat. So, let me run you through the course of action. And I can't explain any of it or why it happened. I don't understand why it's a thing. I don't get it. So, 2 men on, 2 men out. 9th inning, right? You have Jose Altuve coming up. Jose Altuve has, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, he's been pretty good the past, 10 years. He's done this thing called, made, I believe, 7 All-Star teams. He's won 3 batting titles. He's won the Silver Slugger like 4 or 5 times for second base. He won this little award called an MVP. He's done some pretty good stuff in his career. One might say he's been one of the best hitters over the past decade in all of Major League Baseball, and if you say that, you'd be correct. Great hitter, Jose Altuve. Bring him up. What does he do? First pitch, takes a big swing. Nope, he bunts. You have him lay down a bunt. It goes foul. But I want to make a couple things very clear, right? This isn't a game where you're at home. This is a game where you're on the road. You can't walk a game off. At most, you can take a lead going into the 9th. But the Astros can't do that. Why? The winning run or the go-ahead run isn't on third. The winning run or go-ahead run isn't even on second. They're on first. The tying run isn't on third. The tying run is on second. Best case scenario with this idea is Altuve lays down a perfect bunt. No one can get there. You load the bases for Michael Brantley. That is best case scenario. Worst case scenario is you bunt it right to a player and they throw you out to end the game. But best case scenario, you bunt. I suppose you could argue that best case scenario is there's such a horrific throw by the third baseman or the pitcher, whoever fields it, that it flies into the outfield magically and just bounces around the stadium like a pinball machine, and all runs come around to score, and, it's an inside the Parker home run for Altuve, and you take a 5-3 lead. But that's so unlikely. Best case scenario is you bunt, you get the bases loaded for Brantley. And even that isn't like a horrific idea, because Michael Brantley, it's quick and dirty math. Batting, I believe, 325 this season, leading the AL in batting average. Might be all of Major League Baseball, but certainly the AL. In right now is the front runner for a batting title. So quick dirty math is the most likely player, if you load the bases for him, to get a base hit and give you the go-ahead run. And beyond that, he's rocking like a 378-ish on-base percentage. So even if he, doesn't get a hit, he could walk. He has a really good on-base. He's a great player. Right, so I disagree with that. I don't like that thought, but at least there's something there, right? At least the little brain waves are cooking with that idea. A couple pitches later, Altuve actually swings and takes pitches like a normal human being. Then he singles, lines one into left field directly to Andrew Benintendi. Now, Benintendi is a below-average defender, 20th percentile-ish, an ounce above average on Baseball Savant. So he's not this, insane defender. It's not like you're doing this to Mookie Betts or someone that's actually, competent. That's not an insult to Andrew Benintendi, by the way. I actually like him, even though he killed my dreams back in 2018 and tonight. But you line one to him. Now, Andrew Benintendi, again, below average defender. But it was hit perfectly to him. This isn't him taking some weird angle like this to get to the ball, right? Or like diving, not coming up with it, and then having to get up and make a throw. This is him being able to run into the ball and make a good throw home. And the Astros, on a play that you can clearly tell is going to be a bang-bang play at the plate, I honestly thought about, as soon as it was hit to him, like, all right, you got to hold him there, load the bases. They send him, they be aggressive, which I'm normally okay with, but in this position, I don't get it because a couple pitches ago, you bunted. Throw home, they get him. So within about 5 pitches, within about under a minute and a half, the Astros went from, let's load the bases, to let's tie the game right here and now. What changed? Right? That's the thing. What changed in that, minute span that changed your mindset from load the bases, next guy up, to, let's tie it right now. Go home, buddy boy, you're going. What changed? That's my question. You might say, well, Weston, is the difference of Baker versus the third base coach. And I would say, yeah, okay, I get that, but the team as a whole was perfectly fine, right? Because Dusty relayed the order. And I'm not saying they would. I'm not saying this is something that happens commonly. But the third base coach, at the very least, didn't be like, you sure about that, Dusty? He was like, all right, yeah, let's do this. Let's bunt. And then Altuve was like, okay, I'm not going to just act like I don't understand how science works. I am going to take that and, bunt. So clearly, we're all on the same page. We're all on the same page of let's tie the game. Or load the bases. I keep saying tie the game. And then he goes to tie the... I don't get it. I don't even know what to say. Let me rephrase that. I've talked for 12 minutes, and this is the second take because I gave one that was 15 minutes long, but even more rambly than this one. I don't know, this was just, you just want to bang your head against a wall. I don't know why we can't win against bad teams. I don't know why. I don't get it. What's the problem? Why can't you do the literal bare minimum? That's my question. Okay, miracle just happened. The A's lost. So by a miracle, to coincide with your awful 4-game losing streak, the A's have also lost 4 games in a row. That's a miracle that happened. Because if the A's would have actually done good, if they win these 4 games, they have the division. They have a 1.5 game lead. You know how scary that is to think about? With how bad this little skid's been? I guess our goal for tomorrow is just don't get swept. That's the goal. They're going to send Mike Minor to the mound. Mike Minor has an above 5 ERA. You know who else has above 5 ERA? Freaking everyone we faced. Singer had an above 5 ERA today. Yesterday, they sent a guy to the mound, above 5 ERA. Day before that, I'm pretty sure the guy they sent to the mound to start the game, above 4. And you're facing Mike Minor. You're facing Mike Minor. Guys, please. I'm just don't get swept. Don't get swept by this awful, awful team. Rose fans, I'm not trying to take pot shots at you, I swear. Don't lose. Astros, that's my only request. Don't get swept. They send out Mike Minor. We send out Luis Garcia. You get it. You know what's happening. It's at 2:10 Eastern, 1:10 Central. It's an afternoon game, and I will cry my eyes out if we get swept by by the Royals. This was a slam dunk series, guys. And now we have to go fight for our lives not to get swept. Okay, so... Wow, bit of a long one. Long one tonight anyway. That's all I have to say for the evening. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you guys all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, even when they just make you want to frickin' go dent a wall with your forehead, go Astros.